What if you're talking to a potential client or a client and they are taking up all of the airspace? They're talking and talking and talking. Oh, and you're losing patience and getting frustrated. What do you do? This is Mark Silver with Heart of Business. And this topic actually came up because when I did a video around when clients take and take and take, somebody said, I thought you were saying talk and talk and talk. And it seemed like an equally good topic to cover. And I want to say that again, similar to some of these other topics I've been covering, you have to, you have to do the internal work first, because just applying the technique that I'm going to describe is not going to do it. People aren't going to feel it, and you can break hearts and lose clients and break relationships if it's done without a deep sense of connection. So, and the core of all of this comes from a teaching that I learned years ago in nonviolent communication called Interrupting in Order to Connect. And so the first thing that I have people do, that I do when this happens, is I stop listening. They're talking on, and I just disconnect for a second and tend to my own heart. Like if I'm starting to feel tired or disconnected, and I reconnect. Now, I've done this a lot, so I can do this really rapidly. Sometimes it takes longer if you're not as practiced at it. But the key here is both to attend to your own heart and realize how your heart is feeling in this situation, but it's also to let any judgment drain away. The truth is that they're doing the absolute best they can. So many of us in this culture have not really had care, where people can really listen to us without judgment, without trying to fix or change or react or collude, but to just listen. And, so many people who do transformational work of one type or another have done the work they need to be able to have that kind of open-hearted listening. And so they're really thirsty. And so the clients are really thirsty, and they're just drinking it up. If you've ever come in from a really hot day and just drank water and drank water and drank water, that's kind of what it's like. So we have to find both the compassion for ourselves, and then as quickly as possible, the compassion for the other person. And then the second one is the interruption, the second step. And you're interrupting in order to connect. And so I say something like this: hey, can I interrupt, please? I just need to jump in here. Everything you're telling me, I'm so glad that you're getting to express it. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot for you to have lived through, and I want to let you know that it's a lot. I'm having trouble tracking it all. And I don't want to lose connection. And two things are going on for me. One is not only am I having trouble tracking it, but I just noticed that the time's going by, and I'm worried that I'm not going to get a chance to support you. Now, if all you need is to be witnessed, and you just want me to listen, and you just need space to talk, I actually would be happy to use our time that way, if that's going to be of most use to you. But if you're wanting some support, why don't we connect in? Let me tell you what I got so far from what you've told me, the essence of it. And then let's see how we best want to use this time, how I can best support you. Knowing that you sharing all of this is absolutely great. And in fact, it's really healing, and it just might need to be done in smaller chunks, depending on what we're working on. How does that sound? You can see, if you interrupt in this way, it will work, but it will only work if you're being sincere. if you're coming from a place of true kindness and love and caring with a real intention to connect. Because if you're interrupting and there's any part of you that's holding judgment and going, God, this is exhausting, it's taking too long, you're taking up all the airspace, if you have any of that in your voice, you can break hearts, you can break trust, you can disconnect. So I'm not saying you have to be perfect, I'm not saying you have to be enlightened, but there has to be a sincere depth of compassion in your own heart when you connect. I have had this approach work every single time that I've tried it. And I'm just curious. I'm curious if you've ever tried anything like this, if it feels approachable, if you have any questions, or if you have situations where you think it might not work. We're just trying to care for each other. And the more that we can remember that, the more we can do what we need to do and get our needs and their needs met with love.